The second assignment is anti-harassment policy for LASICO. Anti-harassment policy for LASICO, there are several clauses in this. First clause is intent or scope. What is meant by intent is the present item establishes a mechanism for the prevention of all forms of the harassment or for resolution of harassment complaints. It also provides practical guidance on what constitutes harassment and the manner in which it will be handled. This is what it is intent of this means anti-harassment policy for the LASICO. Scope for whom it is applied. This policy covers harassment occurring in the workplace or in order setting in which the employees may find themselves in connection with their employment. That means that, so this is in the on the job or anything relating to employment, this policy covers. This policy applies to all persons employed by the LASICO designated as employees for the purposes of this item, namely staff, members, contractors, interns, volunteers, and occasional workers. This policy applicable for those people. What is now we will come to the clause called definition of harassment. There are several definitions. So in that there are several developments. First one is we will say that moral harassment covers inter alia any repeated or persistent aggression, whether physical, verbal, psychological, having negative effect on the conditions for the conditions at the workplace or aimed at humiliating, demeaning, offering, intimidating or an individual or a group of individuals and potentially seriously affecting their health, career, dignity, acts that constitute moral harassment. So whatever these kind of activities done at workplace called, constitute a moral harassment. She means ill treating. There are these kind of ill treating and degrading. These kind of things happened at the workplace called moral harassment. Then next one is sexual harassment, comprises of unwelcome sexual advances or requests for the sexual favors and verbal or physical conduct of sexual nature when submission to or rejection of such advances or request conduct is made or either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of employment or as a basis of employment decisions, or second is such advances, requests or conducts have the purpose or effect of inferring with the individual work performance by the creating an intimidating or hostile, humiliating or sexually offensive work environment. What it says is, so whenever in the workplace, so any employees or any employee supervisors or whoever it may be, so if harassed sexually, like giving offer or for any means for any kind of by threat of job or some favor or anything, if it is asked for, or if any woman employee or male also, some cases this clause applies us. So this policy applies. Further, there is a punishment, as we will see below. People whom it is applies, the harassment may be any challenge, any colleague, be it a supervisor, a peer, or a subordinate. This includes contractors, interns, volunteers, and occasional workers. Prevention. Now, what we seen above is, first we have seen the intent, second we have seen the scope, next we have seen the definitions, what are the inclusions of this policy, like what are the kind of harassments. Then we seen the moral. Next one we have seen sexual harassment. Now we can include more also, but as of now we included these two. The prevention, the prevent, now we come for prevention, how to prevent, instead of after happening we will go and rectify it, or this thing punishing. You'll see that preventive action should be taken as a priority to deter or stop the harassment, and to ensure that it does not develop further. Managers and the supervisors have a specific responsibility within their own team, or shall be accountable for taking early action on potential or actual harassment. Once they are aware of such situations, managers and supervisors must not tolerate their continuation. They must talk with the parties. Means what is saying that the all employees means the supervisors or managers should take proactive action. So when if it is happened, or if it is before happened, so they have to take and that talk, and so they have to resolve the issue. Next one is investigation procedure. So how to investigate? When the investigation is required, IOS will be immediately secure the services of the internal or external investigators with expertise in handling harassment cases, and establish the terms of reference for the investigation. The terms of inference will define the time limits for concluding the investigation and for submitting the investigation report in the timely manner, normally not exceeding 2 months after the start of the investigation proceedings. Dealing with harassment shall be based on full and proper enquiries that respect rights of both the parties. In particular, all aspects of private life and reputation proceedings shall be strictly confidential. The IRHRM shall notify the Director General of decision to the complainant. So this, in this class, what it says is how they have to investigate when the harassment happened. Now, disciplinary action. Staff members whose action or behavior are proven to constitute harassments are subject to disciplinary measures. In this case, where the offender is a contractor, consultant fee contract, special service agreement, service contract, etc., his or contract may be immediately terminated without notice or indemnity. So when it is a contractor, we have to terminate that contract immediately. Disciplinary measures will be depend upon the gravity of the case, such factors as the type of harassment, its impact on person harassment, the existence of this hierarchical relationship, and prior behavior of the harasser shall be taken into account. Any relation or threats against those who make harassment complaints or assist investigation shall subject to disciplinary measures. Any reason found has been deliberately made false or malicious allegations for harassment shall also be subject to disciplinary measures. So this is what the clauses included in the anti-harassment policy of LAWS-ECO. Thank you. Thank you.